I'm here with Dave Headon. Dave is the curator of the Once in a History exhibition that I had the privilege of launching today here in Parliament House. It's about the foundation stone, the naming ceremony for the National Capital 100 years ago. Dave, as curator, tell us about the exhibition today and some of the treasures in it.
Well, it's an exciting one, Kate. As you know, we've been talking about it for probably about the last 12 months, you and I. But there are treasures. I'd have to start with the Denman stuff. So the Governor-General 100 years ago, Lord Thomas Denman, he was ultimately succeeded by a new Lord Denman in 1953, and he only died a few weeks ago. Right. Well, he was a great supporter of the concept, again, as you know, because of your London travels. So that we got, for example, the naming case that Lady Denman 100 years ago opened to show that, and to reveal the name Canberra. Right. They called it variously a gold casket, but in fact, as you put it beautifully, this morning I got to use it too. That was what did you say? The packaging?
Plain packaging.
Plain packaging. That was
It was a cigarette case.
So just to explain that, it was in fact a cigarette case. King O'Malley was aware that she was a heavy smoker. So he made sure that it could be used sort of basically for a different purpose, and she did for the next 40 years of her life. And she didn't die, we imagine, of lung cancer. 10 years beyond, she lasted 40 years. So that's one. You've got Lord Denman's Napoleonic hat,
yes,
complete with the feathers, the white and pink feathers. You've got various other plumes. You've got, to go into some of the locals, you've got Sir Austin Chapman, who was the first member for Eden Monero, not Labor, a very interesting individual who made some terrific speeches on Canberra. Well, Chris Chapman, who's the head of ACMA at this moment, yes, the Australian Communications Media Authority.
Yes.
Chris is a great-great-grandson.
Right.
Well, the walking stick of Sir Austin Chapman that the electors of Queanbeyan gave him in 1920. We've got the most beautiful reproductions of photographs from the day, yes, 100 years ago.
The actual ceremony itself.
The ceremony, exactly.
Pomp and circumstance.
Exactly, yeah, from a guy called Claude Vorton. In fact, a distant forebear of one Paul Fatty Vorton.
Oh, is that so?
That is indeed so. And not only that, but also a later a descendant of the aide-de-camp to Napoleon Bonaparte. And it sounds like I'm making it up, I'm not. He took some beautiful shots on the day. All the major photographs of the day are Claude Vorton shots. Right. They are beautiful, but I've never seen such reproductions as are in an album. John and Judy Stevenson, Canberra citizens, wonderful folk, let me know this album existed.
Yeah.
It was a gift from Jack Mildenhall, he of all the Mildenhall photographs of Canberra of the 1920s and 30s, except it was his album of the 1913 shots, and we, in this day and age, digitised them, so they are beautiful reproductions. I've never seen their like.
I was certainly commenting on how crystal clear the images are. One of the greatest things I think about the launch today was the number of descendants from these key players in the naming ceremony 100 years ago were actually in the room today. I know that was pretty special for a lot of them.
And it was special for me. I've dealt with all of them, of course, in the build-up. But I mean, people like the Owen family, so that's Gibb and Sue Owen, both solicitors, lawyers from Sydney. And Gibb is a descendant of Percy Owen. Now, that was the first Commonwealth head of public works. He and Colonel David Miller, both of them former Boer War colonels, ran, as you said in your speech today, ran that occasion with military precision. And it really did go that way. Yeah. Things like, I remember it's in the exhibition, but suddenly they thought, we need 2,000 gallons of pure water for all the VIPs, which included Lord and Lady Denman. That was Owen's job. Owen had various jobs. We got his compass, his belt stuff from the Boer War, various things associated with his surveying activities. So that's another one. I mean, that was a really, really lovely one. But as we said, Chris Chapman and the Sir Austin Chapman walking stick. Another real favourite of mine, Jeff Pryor, who I'm sure many people who'd be watching this would be aware that he was one of Australia's best cartoonists until his retirement from the Canberra Times. Jeff Pryor's, I believe I'm right in saying, great-grandfather was one of the major surveyors in that first generation of Commonwealth surveyors, a man called Arthur Percival. Well, the lovely thing that you and I with children can identify with, and that was that he and his wife were invited to the VIP tent when the major speeches were given, and the diary entry that he made later that day indicates that they had the trouble with the babysitting of the child, who was somewhere outside the tent but kept having to slip out. and then come back in to hear the speeches.
It's
So
nice
it's great.
to know some things never change.
No, some things never change. You
Dave,
can identify with that.
Dave, I love the two trowels as well, which of course were used by the Prime Minister of the day, Andrew Fisher, and King O'Malley, the Minister for Home Affairs, both key roles. They're beautifully engraved in the exhibition. But if you want to come and see it, the exhibition is in Parliament House in the public gallery space, and of course the foundation stone lies in the very centre of the Federation Mall out the front of Parliament House. So please come and see the exhibition. Dave's done a great job curating it. It's an absolute treasure trove of Canberra's history. And
we probably should say it's up till the 3rd of April. So people have got 2.5 months to get to Canberra to see it. It's a must-see.